everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Hearthstone the Arena. So, if you weren't here for the last two videos, or was it just one? I don't know. If you weren't here for, if you're just dropping in on this Let's Play series or whatever, last time we created this priest deck and started it off with 2 straight losses, even though, as I've stated before, I don't think this deck is all that bad. I think it's actually a pretty well-constructed deck. I think we just went up against some very, very good people who had some pretty well-constructed decks, but luckily, we at least got 1 win. And although to lose with 1 win, 3 losses would be absolutely abysmal, at least I get to keep some pride, right guys? At least I don't have to go back home to my little, cardboard box in the street and cry under the rain or something like that. Then, who knows, maybe we'll end up getting, 6 wins in a row. Then I get to go back to, like, my golden mansion or something like that. Speaking of which, isn't there a golden rocket car in The Simpsons? That would be the coolest thing on the planet, like, to drive around in rocket. It might not have been golden, though. I'm thinking of, because in Simpsons Hit and Run, they had, like, the car that you could find and drive it around, just it was, like, the least durable car in the entire game. Oh, God.
You asked for it.
Okay. Double, oh God, no. So we're going up against a mage. That is bad. Very bad. And I'm not too happy with our hand either, especially not with going first. I'm gonna keep these 2/3 mana costs, get rid of Gurobashi Berserker, and pray that we get a 2 or 1 card. A 4! We're gonna get off on a rough start for this one. Ah! That helps us a little. Okay. As you guys know, hate mages. Probably my least favorite class to go up against because they just have so much board control potential. And if they get like a mana wraith out there, then like they could just be... Basically, they get to be so annoying in so many ways. Especially with their ability to create board control with their spells and all that. But I almost put down my River Crocolisk on Mr. Meep's side of the board. Once again, nice to see a player who has a really easy name to pronounce. I like to think I make it easy for others, since mine is just Egg, you know? Nice and simple. Don't have to worry about any of that. We're definitely going to place out the Acolyte of Pain right now, because now he's either going to be forced to kill it, or he could get some easy card draw from this little novice engineer there, so... Definitely a nice setup for us to do, unless he does something like that to handle it. A silence would be a very good way to handle it as well. But honestly, I think that's okay for us, because that means we baited out that silence really early, and it's just gonna be a card trade that still puts me in a 1-card advantage. Ooh, this could create some annoying things. Yeah, that was pretty annoying, because now he's gonna be able to trade that. Oh well, that's 2-card trade, essentially, but kind of in a way 1, since the Novice Engineer is a 1-card trade for itself anyways. Sucks that this guy's going to be able to live now. I mean, gonna kill 1 for 1 instead of keeping him okay. I guess we're gonna put out our injured Blade Master now? Or we could go with Ascension Shield Master. Let's go with the Shield Master first, just to get the taunt out there. That means because he almost certainly won't kill this on 1 turn. I probably shouldn't have traded in hindsight, but I'm actually okay with that trade. But now, since it's the Ascension Shield Master, taunt, he won't be able to get through... Oh, unless he destroys it like that. Nice! Nice! Yeah, get rid of that fireball, dude. That makes me happy. That's one thing I do love whenever playing against a mage. Whenever they go ahead and use cards like the fireball really early in the game, it definitely puts a little joy into my life. So let's go ahead and heal this guy. Now we have a 4/5 on the field. Obviously not a taunt, but he was only a 3 mana cost, so he's probably going to want to play something strong to get rid of him. Oh, that's interesting. That was actually a pretty damn good move right there. Man, putting down 3 monsters on the field and drawing 2 cards in the same turn. He got really, really good value out of that. Crazy value, to be honest. Where are you gonna do now, buddy? Okay, that's not horribly annoying, because then I could just heal that guy. I'm actually kind of tempted to place out the Light Well whenever you play a card. Okay, so this is not the best time for questing Adventurer, even though I would love to put him out on the board. Actually, honestly, it might be an okay time, because that would trade for either of them. And that would force him to want to trade for that instead of attacking the injured Blade Master. Only thing that would worry me is if he has a Firewall or Fire Blast, whatever it's called. I don't know why I keep forgetting the name of that move. Probably because I barely play as the mage, because I freaking hate them so much. So let's go ahead and do that. Or I could just play the Wild Pyromancer after you cast a spell. Let's go with the Wild Pyromancer instead, so we get to keep our questing adventurer, make him potentially make him more useful in the future. Now, unfortunately, he's gonna be able to like trade one of them and just use a Fireball to take this guy out if he wants. Do we play the Light Well at this point? Nah, because that's a low cost that can make the questing adventure stronger. So let's just wait. Nice thing to know is that we still have our Faceless Manipulator in case he puts down something very scary. So we could just copy that. Polymorph for 2 mana is so freaking frustrating. Oh, Jesus. That means he could play something really strong now if he wanted to, or 2 small monsters, or use the Fireball to take that thing out and then trade, or if he's smart, attack me directly instead. Oh man, I really need to get rid of those things. Thank you for trading. I would actually much rather prefer that he traded, so that move makes me very happy at this point. That's another thing as well. I mean, it's always good to trade, and I used to be really bad with deciding what was a good trade and what isn't. But as some of you have pointed out in the past, he's still gonna be able to trade 1 for 1 unless I give him a health boost and put down the Light Well. So maybe that is the best option. First, let's do this, because I want to do that no matter what. I'll make him a 3/3. Now we get her. So that means what's better, putting down the Light Well now or putting down the Mana Addict? Because I want to put down one or the other. Granted, he could just use another Polymorph or even a Fire Blast on that guy. Mr. Anduin here is saying the same thing I am. Well, let's go with the Light Well. I mean, obviously, he's just gonna be able to attack that thing for fun whenever he wants because it has no damage. And I'm pretty sure we don't have the Inner Fire card in this deck, so I don't think we'd be able to use that at all to our advantage. Man, he's gotten a lot more card draw than us in this game. Oh, silence! That's rough. Please trade, though. If he trades once again, I will be very happy. I wouldn't imagine he would, though. Oh, no. Oh, that's rough. He's definitely playing very, very well this game. He or she, I suppose, since I don't know if Meeps is necessarily a man. Oh, but that's the good thing about our Light Well. We will be gaining 3 health every turn. What do we want to put down? Let's definitely Harvest Golem. I kind of, in all honesty, want to wait on the Boulderfist Ogre. Then I think it's definitely best to get rid of this Acolyte of Pain. Then we could just heal ourselves, because otherwise he was gonna Fireball that thing and get rid of it easily like that. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to get rid of that Sorcerer's Apprentice. And he does have enough mana now for that Firewall, so that kind of makes me want to be very hesitant towards putting down more low health creatures. So, might be foolish, but he only has 2 things on the board, so I feel like it might be smarter to hold on to the Mana Addict for now. Especially since that's not going to be able to kill anything, because if I were to guess, he is going to at least use the Iron Beak Owl to trade for that dude. Because he doesn't want me using that guy to trade for her. Yeah, that's a smart move on his part, if I were to say. Please trade once again, because now I've got this little creature. It's smart for him to use that card to take him out, but unless he has another spell like that was silly of me. Once again, well played on his part, in all honesty. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose this game, since it has... Oh, no. Oh, well, that's alright to lose the light well. We could have actually lost much worse things in different scenarios, but, you know. And, of course, this card is completely useless for us right now. I guess Boulder Fist Ogre's going out. Might as well place out the Mana Addict as well, just to get an extra creature on the board, I suppose, for him to punch out, because she's not going to be very useful for us. Not at this point in the game, I don't think. Granted, though, this is a spell, so we could have comboed her with that, but I need her to be on the board before that 3 health would be, 3 attack bonus would be useful at all. Hoo-hoo-hoo! That's lowering the mana cost and increasing its power. That is awful. This is probably a lost game, in all honesty, at this point, but, you know, at least we finally get rid of... Only question now is actually, which one do we get rid of? He's used so many spells, and his mana is so high, I'm pretty sure there's actually not much of a point to get rid of her anymore. That might be wrong, because who knows how many spells this guy has. I think that's wrong. We should get rid of her. Sucks to leave a minion with more attack than her on the board, but really, Sorcerer's Apprentice could leave him to do so many combos, even at this point. So let's get rid of that. Heal ourselves up a little. Could Faceless Manipulator, but I think I'd rather wait. Because chances are very high that he's got a huge monster on the in his hands that he would put down, which I could then copy. It's not huge, but honestly, I think that would be somewhat worthwhile. Especially when it's taunt. Okay, we're gonna take that guy. We're gonna take his water elemental. Obviously, he'll be able to do a 1-for-1 trade then. But that's like... If anything that's gonna pop up will be worth it, that's gonna be worth it. God, sometimes I really hate Shadow Word Death, because more often than not, it really seems to come up against units that all have 4 attack instead of 5, and I'm just like, just one more, and I'd be able to take you down, but obviously, not really able to do that. So let's take his Water Elemental with Taunt. Oh, come on! Oh!
Not quite what was planned.
That's unfortunate. I'm pretty sure that means there's no coming back from this. Yeah, he's gonna do that, and then he's got 6 damage there, a 9. We lost. There's nothing I could do in 2 turns.
Well played.
And so ends our arena play. So ends our arena play. That is very, very disappointing. I cannot believe how badly this priest deck went. My lord. Just a big old stroke of bad luck, I suppose. Or maybe bad deck crafting. I don't think it was bad deck crafting in this case. I think I've constructed bad decks in the arena in the past, but I don't think this one was bad deck crafting. At least we get to create a new one, start off fresh, and get a new deck of cards. We're probably we might not even get any gold whatsoever, actually. We got that, and 30 gold. Honestly, 30 gold is more than I would have expected for 1 win. So I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and open our pack. Actually, this might not be the pack that was just there, because I've got 15 left for the opening that I want to do, but we're gonna open 1 because this is going to count as our arena pack that we just fought for. So we've got 1 rare and nothing else. That is so crummy. Let's flip everything else first. Inner Rage, I already got you, I don't need you. Fire Imp is a nice card to get though, since I don't have a Fire Imp. And Warlock is one of my favorite classes to play as, so the more Warlock cards I get, the better, for sure. Thrallmar Farseer is a really cool 3 mana cost creature. I don't know how much I like him though, because I think this actually might be my first copy of him, since I still don't have very many of the cards in the game, in all honesty. I don't even think I have Dark Iron Dwarf. That's a really good 4 mana cost creature, right? Because every time he's come out, I've always been very annoyed by how effective he has been for my opponents. But I'll definitely have to test out the Thrallmar Farseer. Haven't really used that card before. What we got for a rare? Pine-sized Summoner? I've already got one. That's unfortunate. Not really excited about that, but what can you say? Alright, so let's go ahead and buy back for another arena play. It'll be interesting to see what classes we'll be starting off with this time, so hopefully, as I said, we'll get better luck this time. Looks like we're going with the Warlock. Could also go for a Rogue, but we just played a Priest, so Priest is a definite out. And I don't think we've done a Warlock in the arena. Like I said, Warlock is one of my favorite classes, but he can be very self-destroying because obviously his hero power is to draw a card at the cost of 2 health. But the way I play him, I like to use a lot of spell kill cards that destroy enemies and heal myself for health, so it usually balances out very, very nicely. Basically, if you're playing as a Warlock, from how I like to play him, card draw is going to be the way you dominate the game by having more cards in your hand. Could also go for the Rogue, but I think we're going to wait a bit longer. I kind of want to try out a Warlock.
Your soul shall be mine.
So let's go ahead and check out our stuff here. Interesting first start. Young Priestess is an incredibly powerful 1 mana cost card. The only problem is she is so hard to keep alive. Like if you're against a Druid or a Mage, or a Rogue, any of those 3, they could just bomb this guy out on 1 turn. It's easier against a Druid or a Rogue, because if you throw down a taunt, then Young Priestess can get her effects off. If you don't know Young Priestess, basically at the end of your turn, you give a random friendly minion plus 1 health. So if you keep her on the board for a while, all of your creatures can become quite unstoppable, gaining plus 1 health every turn. I don't know if Warlocks have many secrets. In all honesty, it's kind of funny. This goes to show how many cards I don't own in this game. I don't own a single secret card for any class, but I don't think Warlocks have any secrets at all. So Secret Keeper is going to be a no. And what the hell is this guy? Felguard. Taunt, Battlecry, destroy one of your... Oh, hell no. Hell no. These cards are always interesting because they always have like a good positive negative thing, but I hate cards that either give your opponent mana crystals or take away your own. I don't think that's ever worth it at all. It's like an overcharge, but worse in my opinion. So we're going with the Young Priestess. Hopefully we'll be able to use her well. If not, she's a 2/1 1 mana cost, so I think that's okay. Oh, this is actually irritating because all of these are cards I really like. I think I'll go with Mortal Strike because I don't know how many of those we'll see. Very good, a very good card because sometimes it could be completely useless, but it's always worth it if there's a minion with 1 health on the other side of the field. Really hate passing these 2 up though, but I want to go with Mortal Coil, not Strike. What am I talking about? Corruption I used to like a lot, but I actually think it's pretty bad. It's choose an enemy minion at the start of your turn, destroy it. So you play this card, then your next turn you destroy the enemy minion. The thing that I think really sucks about it is it's very rare that they don't get that minion's worth then, because the minion still attacks. It just means you're buying yourself like... It just means that that minion's gonna get worth just for you to lose your card and kill it on a later turn. So I think this is just like a waste of card in all honesty. Acolyte of Pain is cool, but I love Silverhand Knight. Never want to pass that guy up. He's always really, really good. I think we gotta go for Fen Creeper here, especially since we passed up a taunt before. And I think Fen Creeper is actually pretty damn good because the 6 health is very frustrating. Wish he could be a little bit stronger, but I think he balances very well. Oh, I don't really like any of these. I think we're probably going to go with the Bloodsail Raider, just because she's essentially a River Crocolisk, if you disregard her battle cry, which we are, because I'm pretty sure Warlocks don't have any weapons at all. The weapons that go within Overload are on the Shaman. So, yeah, Dread Sailor's not gonna be good either. Basically, he's a 4-mana 3/3 taunt if you don't have a weapon, which is absolutely garbage. So Bloodsail Raider for us. Stampeding Kodo can be really good, but I really like Emperor Cobra. Angry Chicken, I've never seen this card used effectively. Basically, it's Enrage, give it +5 attack. So I could see this card being very good in, say, a Paladin deck, where you use, like, Kings. You use Kings on this guy, give it +4/+4. 4/4 because it... No, it's 5/5. It is a +4/+4. Kings is +4/+4. Then this becomes a 5/5, takes damage, becomes a 10, whatever damage it took. Excuse me. So, it could be used very effectively, but I've never seen it work, so... I think we might go with Emperor Cobra. I like Emperor Cobra a lot. Could force an enemy to lose a card that they really, really don't want with that. I have to go with the Blood Imp. I love Blood Imps in Warlock's deck. In Warlock decks. Perfect turn 1 play. If you get it later on for a very, very low mana cost, still perfectly worth value because it gives all your minions +1 health and he's stealth. So basically, all your minions for the rest of the game, unless they do a board clear card, is are going to have 1 extra health. Always worthwhile. Love Blood Imp. Life Drain, I think we might have to go with that. Flame Imp is very good because it just deals 3 damage to the hero, but is such a strong monster for 1 mana cost. But I really like Life Drain. Like that one a lot. Raging Worgen's really good, but I think I might want to go with Hellfire. I like that card a lot too, although it does hurt everything on the board, which really sucks about it. Demolisher is a really cool card if you get some taunts on the board. Alarmabot is garbage in our situation. Whenever a character is healed, gain +2 attack. I think we have to go with the Demolisher here. Demolisher's a really cool card. Basically, at the start of your turn, you deal 2 damage to a random enemy, so the longer you keep this thing on the board, it really helps you get some great board clear against your enemy. Now, this is an interesting one. Darkscale Healer, I actually think she's pretty cool in a Warlock deck because she heals all friendly characters, so that includes you, and by a 5 mana cost, most of the time you will have used your hero power at least once or taken damage otherwise. So she's a pretty strong monster, although she could be better for 5 mana, but it allows you to heal yourself up to draw another card, so I like her a bit. Gurobashi Berserker doesn't really work, and although he would work with the Hellfire. I think I called it Fireball earlier. Sorry about that, Hellfire. Summoning Portal is also really good, but I think most of the time it dies too easily. So let's actually go with the Darkscale Healer. Okay, I don't really like Sacrificial Pact. We might go with another... Yeah, we're going with another Mortal Coil, actually, because I hate Magma Rager. Interesting to have 2 of those in a deck. Definitely Harvest Golem, although was Demon Fire. Oh yes, deal 2 damage to an enemy. If it's a friendly demon, give it +2/+2 instead. Very good. I prefer Harvest Golem though, because Harvest Golem is so irritating. Since Demons is a pretty good card, although I don't think we have too many Demons at all in this deck right now. Yeah, we actually only have 1, and that's our Blood Imp, so that's probably going to be a pass. Although I don't really like either of our other cards anyways. Or in comparison. What is our balance? We're not even halfway, so I shouldn't care about the balance too much. We're gonna go with Leper Gnome, I think. Or give a friendly minion +4. Oh, yeah, Power Overwhelming. I don't really like Power Overwhelming either. So we're gonna go with Leper Gnome. Okay, here we go. Big cards. I'm not doing Hungry Crab because this isn't a Warlock deck. Twisting Nether is a very, very interesting card. It 100% could save you in a pinch if you're having a bad game. But I think we gotta go with Mountain Giant because he could scale wonderfully with a Warlock deck since he costs 1 less for each other card in your hand. So theoretically, if we wanted to, we could just keep drawing cards at the early game without playing any monsters, then surprise him with a frickin' Mountain Giant play. So, and then of course there's also plenty of other alternatives. So Mountain Giant is a very, very cool card. I like him a lot. Now this is another interesting draw. I think we actually might go with the Earthen Ring Farseer for this one. He's a very, very annoying card to face up against. And definitely the Loot Hoarder. I love Loot Hoarder. The other cards were great as well, but I prefer Loot Hoarder. Always go with another Harvest Golem. I don't like our balance too much right now, but we still have a lot of cards to go. So let's see. Doomsayer, at the start of your turn, destroy all minions. Very interesting card because it's very similar to that other card we passed up before. Just obviously you put this down and you say, hey opponent, you're gonna need to kill this 0/7 next turn, otherwise everything's gonna get destroyed. Reason why I don't like that though is because more likely than not they're not gonna focus on attacking this thing unless they have like no cards in their hand. They're probably gonna focus on attacking you directly instead, and then just going on with the game with when it turns out to, when the board clear happens, you know? Then, Blood Knight. Blood Knight's a very interesting battle cry. All minions lose Divine Shield, gain +3/+3 for each shield lost. Not very good in this deck, though, because we're not going to give anyone Divine Shield. And Bane of Doom, deal 2 damage to a character. If it kills it, summon a random demon. Once again, we don't really have any demons in our deck, and it's 2 damage for 5. We do not have any other demons. That is so sucky for us right now. And we really, actually we probably have gotten more demon draws than I've noticed. I think we actually have to go for the Blood Knight. Makes me very sad because he's not going to get that buff at all. So essentially he's a 3/3/3, which is not very good. But at least not compared to other cards. Booty Big Bodyguard again. I love how many summoning portals have popped up. Maybe if it comes up again, I'll have to take it. But in all honesty, usually I don't care for it too much. So, this is hard. Stormwind Champion is so good, but also so is Silverhand Knight. I might want to take another Silverhand Knight and hope that we get a really big card drop later on, because Silverhand Knight is so good. I like rarely ever want to pass that dude up. Speaking of which, Razorfen Hunter is really good as well, but we might want to get a couple lowers because we practically have no 2 mana cost monsters, so we need more early game draws. And we do obviously have to consider that 2 of those early game draws are frickin' Mortal Coils, which can be very good in the early game, but it's risky because most of the most of the 2 mana drops don't have 1 health. So Mortal Coil would be pretty awful. So I'm gonna go with the Leper Gnome actually for that situation right there. Ooh, okay, here we go with our high mana costs. I'm gonna go with Dread Infernal because his battle cry can be used very effectively. War Golem is very good as well, but I think I prefer the Dread Infernal for a Warlock deck. Now this is an interesting one. Do we want the Argent... We took the Blood Knight before, correct? Okay, we're taking the Argent Squire just simply for the hope that we could combo it with the Blood Knight. I think Salseer Deckhand might be a better value overall if this combo doesn't work out, but just for the chance of it, you know, it would be a hard pick anyways. I would love to take another Blood Imp, especially since it's a demon, or another Flame, or a first Flame Imp, but I think we want to go with Ironbeak Owl because you can never underestimate the power of silences. Silences are very, very good. Then I think we want to go with the Archmage, although Silvermoon Guardian is very frustrating. So is Dragonling Mechanic. But I really like Archmage because his 7 health is so irritating to have to deal with because there aren't any kill cards that do 7 damage purely. I think the highest they go is 6. So, yeah, the highest they do go is 6. So basically it means most of the time he's at least going to get a 2-card trade, which is very nice. Then definitely want to go with the Sunwalker. Nice to see we're getting more higher drops now. Honestly, I actually really don't like Raid Leader. I think he's a pretty bad card. I really liked him at first, but even with his really good battle cry, a 2/2 for 3 is not really all that worth it. Basically, he requires a taunt to stay alive, and I just don't think that's any good, but I think he's the best thing there, so we're taking him. Twilight Drake can be a good card, but it can also be complete garbage, obviously. But I think that's actually okay in this deck because we're playing a Warlock, so we're going to try to maintain keeping a good full hand at all times. So let's go ahead and take that. Interesting deck we got here. I think the balancing in regards to our chart is a little bit wacky. We've got so many 3 cards, but I think the ones do balance out, are getting us off to a good early game. We have very low heavy hitters, but all the 5s might balance that out a little bit better. Who knows? Maybe I shouldn't have picked the second Silverhand Knight, but I don't know. It'll definitely be an interesting game. Like, our 2 heaviest hitters for sure are the Mountain Giant and the Dread Infernal. It'll just be an interesting thing to see once we start playing with this deck and testing it out to actually see if it's effective at all. But we'll have to save that for another video since we're about at 30 minutes. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like, a comment, and or subscribing if you have not. I am the Egg Scrambled Gamer, and I will see you all next time.